It's also not an easy gig on an Sadowsky base to add a matching headstock. And this is how a quilted maple looks from the outside.
It's ridiculous. Hi guys, welcome to our feature on the Sadowsky Germany custom shop. I'm sitting next to no other than Mr. Markus Spangler, who is running the production here at Sadowsky Germany. He's running the Metroline series, the masterbuilt series, and the custom shop series, which is not a series, obviously, because it's custom options, right?
Custom options, yes.
So thank you very much for being here. I know you have a very tight schedule. So Markus, I mean, if you bring it down to a few sentences, what is your job here?
Basically, I'm taking care of managing the production, managing the products, managing everything what is related with the development of the instruments, in collaboration, of course, with Roger. We are working here very close together,
right?
And it's giving the ball forward and backwards,
right.
And then we are making new models. So he's coming with the idea. Mm-hmm. We are working on the ideas. We discuss the details and everything. And this is how it works with Roger.
Okay.
The problem is a little bit the long distance. You know, he's in America, we're in Germany, and sometimes it's a little bit, how to say it, a little bit difficult, because you phone, you Skype, you FaceTime or whatever, but it's not like talking in reality.
Yes,
to someone.
Absolutely.
And when he's here, we have always a tight schedule to go through the things we have to discuss, and
okay,
it's basically how it works.
So we have here 3 samples from the Sadowsky Germany custom shop. Beautiful instruments, man. Very, very beautiful. Let's talk about what you can do and maybe what you cannot do. You know, all the options available. Like these woods, for instance. How do you bring out this amazing 3D effect? How does that work?
Well, this is obviously quilted maple, and of course it's it starts with the cutting process. So, or when you buy the logs. So we are buying logs. We are buying pre-cut billets, and here you see already in the raw material how the grain comes out, and this needs a lot of experience, because when you have a log round lying in front of you, you have to guess how the figure is inside.
Because some of it looks pretty boring, actually, doesn't it?
Yes, of course. But
you cut it open and you go like,
when most of the time when you put then water on it, then the figure is coming out, and this is basically happening when you stain the instrument. Then the grain is really popping out.
So it's sort of like a liquid effect that you achieve from the stain?
Yes. So this important is that when you work with stain is always getting the grain out.
Right.
So I know it from other manufacturers that they are just coloring the lacquer, going over it, but then the grain is not really popping out. And with our system, what we are doing with staining, or over there, the ultraviolet, it's a kind of a double stain where we work with 2 different colors to make this effect happen.
Okay.
Basically, it's a lot of know-how. Yes, as I said, it starts with the selection of the wood, and then it goes over to the paint shop, who is making with Sebastian. We have done an amazing guy who is making then all the lacquering, what we offer. And this custom shops shows not only the standard features we are offering, it shows also what is possible. So basically, when you come up with an idea, and if it's possible, of course, we are willing to do it. And this shows a little bit beside the standard options where you say, want to have a quilted maple top. You can also have whatever this transaction from Nirvana black to red, something like this, or when you want LED options or whatever you have in mind, drop us an email, and it's then easy. It's not easy to do because depending on each custom shop, it's the times are really a lot what we are investing into a custom shop.
Right.
It can go up to, I think the most time intense. It was about, I would say it was 200 hours.
200 hours?
Only working on it. I'm not calculating the time where you have to wait until the stain is dry or the color is dry or whatever, the glue is dry. It's only working time. It was really the basic working time on it. But this was a unique instrument, and it was unbelievable, yeah.
How many people do you have in the custom shop?
We have... In the custom shop, you have to see it in a different way, how we're doing it. Basically, the whole German production is a custom shop.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
This you can say. Of course, we have standard products like the metroline, which is built in bigger quantities, that will bring the times down, or that it makes more efficient work.
Yeah.
That means this is more affordable. And also the custom shop is in the same. It's a one-off. So it's each custom shop gets single produced, but each worker is working on it. He knows he has the experience of the custom shop.
So it's basically the same team that's working for either or working on a metroline base or on a custom shop base. Okay, interesting. And what is the difference between the masterbuilt series and the custom shop? Because the masterbuilt series is very advanced as well.
Yeah, the masterbuilt is the entrance level of the custom shop. So we offer certain masterbuilts with certain basic specs, specifications, and on this basic specifications, you add up what you want.
Oh, okay. So what would be a typical custom shop option that customers will ask for?
Basically, it's changing the top wood, for example. Here we have a beautiful quilted maple top. Then here we have a flame maple top here as well. This is basically what is the most requests.
This one comes with a beautiful bird's eye maple fretboard. Is that something that you will do in the custom shop as well?
Yes, definitely. And also here, for example, this instrument here, the customer was asking specific that he wants to have an Indian rosewood.
Right.
So we offer different rosewoods. We have Madagascar rosewood in stock. We have Indian rosewood. We have Brazilian rosewood in stock.
Wow.
And so this, when you want something special, if we have it, if we can organize it, if we can get it, we can do it.
Okay, what about colors? Can you do like crazy swirled stuff?
This we can also do. This we can also offer beside the standard options what we have.
Right.
And basically everything is possible.
I've also seen some very astonishing metallic effects, like metallic finishes.
So the flip-flop effect.
Yeah.
When you look from one side, it's green, and from the other side, it's then blue.
Oh, yeah.
Like this, This we offer as well. So basically everything what is possible, we do. We can offer.
Okay.
But sometimes we have, we had one time a request on a color. It's called the black. So it's like when you look to it, it looks like a black hole.
Right.
So because it's the darkest black what you can get.
Okay.
And this was a request what we couldn't do because the problem is the applying of the color needs about 600 degrees.
What?
And when you do this, of course, you burn down the wood. So that's the reason why we couldn't offer. But when it's possible, and even if it's crazy, we can offer it.
Okay. And obviously, something like a matching headstock wouldn't be a problem. What about a reverse headstock?
Reversed headstock, it's possible, yes. But let's say it in this way. You can change nearly everything, but not the body shape and also not the headstock shape.
Right. So I have to stick with whatever body shape of a regular model.
Yeah.
And also the shape of the headstock.
Okay. Sometimes we have to ask Roger if he agrees with it. But most of the time it's like, just go ahead. If it's possible, go ahead.
Let's stick with this matching headstock subject for just a minute. How does it work? Is it like the same wood that you take from the body that you apply to the headstock? How does that work?
It depends a little bit. When we have the right size that we get it out of the body or of the top wood, then of course, yes. But we are looking always that we have a matching flame or quilt, which is obvious matching together with the body wood. But I want to show you because it's also not an easy gig on an Sadowsky base to add a matching headstock, because here you have this curve.
Right.
So and when you see the backside, this is a normal maple.
Okay.
Standard maple.
So this is obviously a very, very thin layer of wood.
Yes.
Right?
So we have about 2 millimeters wood. Wow. And also here you see it has to be banded in this curve. This is a kind of tricky to do. So it's not that easy to apply a matching headstock on an Sadowsky base.
Because it will break very easily?
It breaks easily.
In the production process?
Breaking, and there's a lot of know-how how to do it.
So this is basically the same wood as the body, or is it another plank?
It is another plank in this case, yeah.
But very similar looking.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Cool. What about hollow bodies or semi-hollow body instruments?
Well, you must know our Sadowsky instruments. They are anyway chambered.
Yes. Yeah.
And this brings the weight down. So far, we didn't offer it. And so we have the chambering, yes. And also if you say, hey, I want a solid body, you get also a solid body.
Right.
This is not the question.
Is there a custom shop option actually, or could I get a metroline base with a
metroline? No, this is all custom shop.
Okay.
This is all custom shop. So when you want to have changes, then you have to go
with a custom shop. Yes, right. Okay. And the chambering obviously turns almost any base into a semi-hollow instrument.
Yeah, depending. So you have the chambering. I show you quick. I have here a body where you can see the chambering, how it looks.
Wow.
And here you see we have everywhere connection to the body. That it's not really sounding chambered, because when you have a real chambering, then it would be routed out. And here,
so there would be one big hole here instead of many smaller holes.
Yeah.
Okay. How does that affect the sound compared to a regular solid body?
Well, it's very close to the tone of an solid body. Of course, it's a little bit sounding a little bit different when it's lighter. But the case that we have the connection everywhere, this makes it more stable.
Makes sure the wood can resonate.
Yes, and this is the thing where we say it's close, or it's like an solid body.
Okay. How much weight do you save with the help of these chamberings?
The weight, what we are saving, it's about depending on the body wood. When you, for example, here I prepared a raw body. So this has 4.38 kilograms.
Right.
And just feel the weight.
Yes.
And here we have a 2.5.
Oh, wow.
And so it's 1 kilogram less.
Oh, that's a difference.
So, and depending, of course, the weight of the wood, it's also what you cut out. So when you have, it's about, I would say what you save, it's about 300 to 500 grams.
Okay.
Could be even a little bit more when you have heavy woods. But also here we are on a limit with the species. So when you have, for example, on the metrolines, we are below, we say below 4 kilograms. And you have to select already the right weight of the body wood. because when it's getting too heavy, then you're immediately, even if you route it out, above 4 kilograms.
Right. So you have to make the choices right from the start.
Yes.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the reason why when we select the woods, we are writing each body the weight that we give it to the right body size. Because when you have an ultra vintage, for example, with a big body shape, then of course you cannot use a raw body which is over 4 kilograms, because then the instrument gets too heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also brought some nice top woods there.
Yeah. This is also a little bit the thing was what you see regarding when we were talking before about the quilted maple, and you say, hey, it looks boring from the outside. And this is how a quilted maple looks from the outside. So here you have these bubbles.
Is this the outside of a tree?
Of the tree, yes.
Okay.
And of course, above there is the bark.
Yes.
But under the bark, it looks like that.
Okay.
You see it's nice 3D effect. And then here you see it's getting less in this area. And also, and when you look from the inside, then it's a little bit like that.
Want me to hold it?
Yeah, please hold it. And
where does this piece of wood come from?
This is from America.
Okay. Wow.
So here you see it's
the water really brings out the 3D effect.
Yeah.
Wow. Hope you can see this. It's very beautiful. Okay. Cool. What is this here?
This is basically just the rough wood, and so here it's the piece of wood is only here, and here it's planned. But in the middle, it's like after cutting.
Okay.
So, and here you see the difference here.
Absolutely.
When it's planned, you have the 3D effect jumping out. And when you have the cut area, it's less. But when you buy the wood, you have to see it. You have to see it from the outside. You have to see it after cutting. And you have to make the right decision how to cut it, proceed on with cutting, or turn the tree or whatever. So it's
and I'm sure
it's a lot of experience and knowledge.
And I'm sure there will always be surprises, because there's no way you can look inside the wood.
No. It's like gambling sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win.
Obviously, there's a lot of money involved also.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. What else did you bring?
Well, then here I have some nice flame maple.
This looks very beautiful straight away.
Yeah, this very intense grain.
Wow. That's amazing. That's ridiculous. Wow. How many tops will you get out of this plant here?
Basically, this will be depending on the model. When you want a thicker top, then we get one top out. But normally, I would say we get 3 pieces out.
Okay.
Our Sadowsky basis.
Does a thin top affect the sound also?
Not that much. Then
not too much,
top,
maybe.
Of course,
yeah. Okay.
So basically, the body and the neck. Basically, I say it's always the area. The longest area is the neck wood.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the neck wood is giving, I would say, 80% of the tone.
Okay.
Of the character of
right. Okay. Have you made a fretboard out of a wood like this?
Flame maple, yes, of course.
Yeah.
We offer it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. Go figure, guys. I have my next dream base coming up in my head.
And here, some fretboards. This is Honduras rosewood.
Mm-hmm.
This is Madagascar rosewood, Indian rosewood, and as well Honduras rosewood.
Okay. Do they all sound the same, pretty much?
They are sounding a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Because of the density of the wood, probably? Yeah. Okay.
But this shows a little bit what we can do in a custom shop.
Okay, let's stick with woods for just a minute. I have noticed this incredible electronics compartment cover, which normally on the metroline basis will be a quick access.
Yes, sir.
Plastic compartment cover, right? So this is wood, obviously. Is this the same wood as the body?
No, we are looking that the grain is really matching to everything. But it's not possible, because the reason is when you have, it's a solid body, and when you route the cavity out, you cannot cut then the cover out, and you cannot do it out of the same wood. So we are selecting a real matching piece for it.
You're looking for a matching piece. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I know that Roger Sadowsky himself has a custom shop or a workshop in the Big Apple.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the German custom shop and the American custom shop run by Roger?
Well, Roger is making only a limited amount of instruments a month, and is very limited in this way. He offers a lot of options. But also is not doing everything.
Okay.
But the thing is, the American custom shop the instruments are made by Roger, or Roger is involved in every single piece. And in Germany, of course, we are doing the custom shop, we are doing the options, and of course we are talking to Roger, what he thinks about certain things. But end of the day, we are building here in Germany, so he is not, when he is visiting us, he is going to the custom shop, of course, but it's not like that he is...
he's not around while the instruments are produced
in the custom shop.
Right. Yeah. Needless to say that in Germany, Sadowsky Germany, you have a whole bunch of very experienced luthiers working for you. Yeah, you have a great team. How many people do you have?
We have at the moment about... 23 people in the
23 people
wow. in the production, and so it's not a big team, it's a small team, and here we are producing the metrolines, the masterbuilts, and the custom shop instruments.
Okay, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, to talk to us. If you guys have any more questions, please leave us a comment in the comment section. Marcus, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All the best. Thanks.
Thank you.